Right. So this session is for parents of students that are attending new student orientation. So we'd like to welcome you all to our presentation. So go ahead and introduce ourselves. So my name is Sammy Morris. I'm an admissions counselor. My territory is particularly in East Tennessee.
My name is Jamie Staggs, and I am a regional admissions counselor based in the St. Louis area, and I take care of students from Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana. And this session is designed to provide parents and guardians with information about new student orientation. We're going to review various aspects that pertain to campus safety, and then we want to share resources with you that are available to help your student in their educational growth.
All right, so first, what is new student orientation? So orientation is the transition, the official transition of high school and getting registered for college. So this is where your student gets all of the different courses, student ID, learns a lot of different information in terms of resources about whatever university they're attending, particularly with us, the University of Memphis. So this year, thanks to COVID-19, there's been a lot of different transitions and updates that we've had to do to kind of combat this. So as a result of COVID-19, we are doing orientation completely online. So your student will have to complete 8 to 10 modules on eCourseware through their My Memphis in order to get the official access to register for classes. So they're going to learn a lot of different of those same things at orientation. Another thing that's kind of a little bit different now is that there used to be a parent session during orientation. So we certainly hope that this will suffice in some way. And of course, if you have additional questions, be sure to let us know. And then the other thing that we wanted to let you all know is that orientation is completely free. So for those that have already signed up for orientation, you should have had your refund refunded to you already. But if not, just know that there are no additional charges for orientation. And now the other point that we kind of want to bring up, which is very important with orientation, is advising. So that is, of course, between the advisor and also with the student. We encourage you guys to sit in on all of the different sessions that your student has so that you guys kind of have that parent side of things. But this is the one session that we encourage you guys to not attend. These are for legal reasons and they're also for professional reasons. So beginning with the professional side of things, we want your student to have a relationship with their advisor. So the advisor has a lot of different ideas and different types of things that they, of course, want to share in both of the course side of things and then, of course, the professional side too. So we want them to establish that relationship. And also I want you guys to be aware in terms of the legal side of things of a thing called FERPA. And so this is a privacy act that the student cannot have their records exposed without their consent. So if your student ultimately gives consent to give those records out, then you would have access to those different records. So I wanted to provide a scenario for you all that Kyle Nixon, which is boss's boss, likes to provide. So let's say that in this Zoom meeting of an advisor and a student, the student's name is Sally. And so the advisor asks to Sally, Sally, what do you intend to major in? But the parent is right there. And so the parent comes in and says, oh, Sally's going to run the family business. Sally's going to major in business management. She's going to run the family business. We're so excited that she is going to have this, and we ultimately can't wait to sign her up for those classes. The advisor then asks, Sally, what would you like to major in? Sally kind of looks at the parent and says, I want to major in musical theater. I can't wait to perform on Broadway. And so that is kind of the idea of why we kind of want that to be a one-on-one with the advisor and the student, because sometimes the student might not feel comfortable with other people in the room of discussing their true intentions. And a few other things that we want to kind of wrap up this slide with. So with NSO, we do require that health forms and immunization records be sent in to the Student Health Services office. in order to get officially registered for classes. And then, last but not least, we have this very unique thing at the University of Memphis called Frosh Camp. And so this is an extended orientation session where students are able to go to Centralville, Tennessee at Camp Nakomi and experience a 3-night, 4-day experience with other incoming freshmen and also current students. So they learn a lot of ins and outs of the university outside of orientation, and they get to meet with a lot of, their incoming class. But for this year, thanks to COVID-19, the June Frosh Camp was canceled. So that means only 2 sessions are remaining. So as of the time of this recording, July and August sessions are still good to go. So we know that your student is certainly probably craving that human interaction that they so desire, and also meeting some of their incoming classmates. So we certainly encourage them to sign up for July and August Frosh Camp.
Well, I would like to now talk to you about safety. I know the safety of your child is of high importance to you and your family. We want to reassure you that safety and the well-being of our students on campus is a high priority for us too. Out of the universities in the state of Tennessee, the University of Memphis is one of the safest. And that isn't just Sammy and I saying that. That is according to the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. We have over 650 security cameras throughout campus. We have 30 plus blue lights, and we have 4 police stations on campus. So we're making every effort to keep your students safe. We also use the Life Safe app that sends alerts to faculty, staff, and students. We also have a Tiger Escort program, which allows us to escort your students all around campus. There's no need to walk alone, and this is offered 7 days a week from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. We also take the residence hall safety as a high priority. Each residence hall has a 24-hour help desk. We have resident assistants, and we have various security features in place that will give your students flexibility, privacy, and again, security if they're living in our residence halls. We also want your students to be safe as they explore Memphis. We want them to enjoy the sights and the sounds and the music and the flavors of Memphis when they are not in class and studying, but please echo our message to them, and that is encourage them to explore with friends, plan your transportation wisely, and just be aware of your surroundings as you are enjoying the city. We also think the emotional health and well-being will promote your student to be successful. So we have a counseling center on campus that offers free, confidential counseling services. So sometimes your student may feel overwhelmed and need a little help to get a handle on their emotional, psychological, or even the interpersonal problems they may be experiencing, because this is truly a new environment for them. But we have licensed staff that are available to help them. We also have a disability support services office. So at the University of Memphis, we are committed to providing equal opportunity to all academically qualified students. So if they have a disorder, it could be a learning disorder, it could be with mobility, maybe visual or learning impairment, and there's a variety of chronic health disorders. We are here and we have facilities to accommodate them. What I think is most important on this topic, though, is the student must self-disclose what their disability is in order for us to provide them with the services they need. So they have to come forward and give us that information so that we can help them. Physical health is always important too, and exercise can really help support your students' emotional and physical health. So please encourage them to take advantage of our rec center. It's free for the students to use, and we have good news to share. We're actually building a new facility, and it's going to be available for your students to use and enjoy. We have a student health center too, and it's convenient, it's cost effective, it's healthcare, and they really promote good health, disease prevention, and it's even an outpatient medical care facilities. So what students would find at our student health center is nurse practitioners, registered nurses, licensed practical nurses. There's a laboratory and x-ray tech and various administrative support personnel. So it acts like a doctor's office. And then patient confidentiality is going to be of the utmost importance in that office too. And we can also help your students with any prescriptions that they need filled from that particular facility. So what I hope you see as we cover these various safety features is that the University of Memphis has multiple steps in place and support to help your students have a safe and healthy campus environment.
Right. So another thing that we certainly wanted to talk about and also bring to your attention is the costs, because hopefully that you guys have had conversations with your students saying, hey, how much is this going to cost me? And so I want to direct your attention to, at the bottom of the page, there are words called Access Memphis. And I want you guys to know that the University of Memphis has done incredible things to keep college affordable. And this isn't for just Tennessee residents, this is also for out-of-state residents. So I wanted to share a few of those measures as to what we have done here recently to make sure that these costs are low. And so one of the big programs Access Memphis has is a guaranteed tuition program. And so this means that when your child is an incoming freshman, they are going to have that same tuition throughout 4 years of college. So they'll be locked into that tuition for 8 semesters. Also, we also have a guaranteed tuition cap. So that incentivizes students to take additional courses. So the tuition cap for a full-time student is at 12 hours. So if you decide to take 15 hours, 17 hours, 20 hours, if you feel very bold, you're still only paying for 12 hours. And so that's another big part of Access Memphis. Now, in terms of the Tennessee side of things, we've also launched the Memphis Promise. And so the Memphis Promise is available to Tennessee residents that are both HOPE and Pell eligible. So you have to be both, and of course, live in the state of Tennessee for that last tuition dollar scholarship that covers the rest of tuition. Does not cover fees, does not cover room and board, but ultimately it does cover tuition. And a few other things that we want to point out as well, on the out-of-state side of things, we have recently lowered tuition over the past few years to be more competitive with other in-state institutions. So you might look at the University of Memphis as an out-of-state institution, rightfully so, but our overall cost and what you're investing in can be that comparable to those that are within whatever state you might live in. And so just kind of going back into the charts, for Tennessee residents, your tuition is looking at $10,536, give or take. And the room and meals, which are the same price all across, this is the highest meal plan and also the highest room and board. So living on campus is optional, but at the end of the day, just know that we have already been that transparent as to what the highest meal plan and the highest room, so you can ultimately budget for it. And so at the end of the day, we want to make sure that the University of Memphis is committed to your student in terms of its affordability. So there have been numerous measures into making sure that your investment is, a worthwhile one in many avenues. And this includes the cost, but it also includes things that Jamie is going to talk about.
Yes, thank you, Sammy. So I want to talk about your return on investment, because attaining a college degree, it is an investment of not only money, but time and hard work. But the good news is your return on investment for your student will last a lifetime. So as students and families, take these steps to actually invest in their education with the University of Memphis, please know that our faculty, our staff, we are all focused on providing your student with the instruction and the resources that they need to build a bright professional future. So we're investing in them too. Some things I want to cover that we have available to your students for this return on investment is academic advising. So advising at the University of Memphis, it's a collaborative relationship between the student and their advisor. So both the advisor and the student are responsible on developing a degree plan. And the degree plan ultimately is a strategy to help attain the student's goals, but also meet graduation requirements in a timely manner. So please know they're going to have help as they pursue this. Next, we want to remind you that we have focused instruction in over 250 different degree options. So in many cases, this degree is going to open doors for your students for particular professions. That's why they're seeking it. Please be reassured that they will find state-of-the-art facilities, cutting-edge technology, and we try to give our students access to not only learn, but to implement their ideas. And it's so amazing to see some of the things that we're accomplishing in our classrooms, and I look forward to them telling you about it when they come home. We also make sure that the students get research opportunities because we want students to be engaged in pioneering work. We want to see how can they improve people's lives. And so we do try to give them opportunities to do research, maybe even have their research published too. So free tutoring is available. So if your student needs a little extra help, tutoring is available both in person as well as virtual options. So we offer student-focused tutoring on a daily basis. We have workshops, we have resources, and lots of different academic programs to support them as they're developing these skills and their knowledge. We also have a Center for Writing and Communication. So regardless of what your student's intended major is, we want them to be able to write and communicate effectively. And it's a skill that they are going to utilize the rest of their life, as well as why they're writing numerous papers for us while they're in college. The next resource is the career services. So in this office, they are dedicated to assisting your student with their transition into a career. So they help with identifying employment opportunities, they help them with career advising, interviewing tips, resume building, and there's so many different resources that are there to help your student as they exit college and enter the professional world. We also want to remind you that we have lots of good internships and co-op programs. So internships, those are typically a one-time work experience or service experience that pertains to your student's major or their career goal, and they typically earn college credit for it. Well, the good news is the University of Memphis, our academic internship program, has been nationally recognized as one of the top 10 programs by US News and World Report. So we have this fabulous city with endless opportunities for them to do internships, and we're getting recognized for it too. And then finally, the last item on my list is Parent and Family Services. So the mission of Parent and Family Services is to support, inform, and engage parents. So they are going to be your go-to office when you have questions, comments, concerns, even if you want travel recommendations on where to stay or what's taking place on campus. This office will be a great benefit to you and your family while your student is with us.
All right, and so we want to ultimately make sure that we're all connected. So we have our own Instagram handles at the very beginning of this presentation, but the main Memphis Admissions account on Instagram is at Memphis Admissions. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/membound and also on Twitter at membound. You are also free to email your counselor, call your counselor, and also the main office as well.
On this slide, you will see various offices. Please connect with the offices in which you have questions. Even though our employees and ourselves are not currently on campus, our offices are open and we all are working remotely, and we are still here to accommodate you and your students. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. We appreciate that you made time to listen and stay engaged with us, and we are excited for your students to join us at the University of Memphis. Go Tigers!
Go Tigers!